The world I used to know, I see it differently. You woke me from a dream, now here's reality. Baby, baby, you are really hurting me. 'Cause every time you tell me I look good and that I'm doing fine, but nothing ever changes. And now I see, baby, you are hurting me. Stuck in repeat. Stop lying. I know you're playing your part, but baby, it's breaking my heart. How could I know? If you don't need me, just let me know when I go. Truthfully, the game that you've been playing felt so real to me.
Happy October and cheers to our quarterly planning. Okay, so I have got my My Ambition Planner. Grab your planner. I'm also going to be using my Notion as well towards the end, and we can get started in planning our 12-week year. What I did to reset for this quarter, let's start with that. When it comes to resetting, I like to do something each month and especially each quarter to kind of restart, refresh, and kind of rejuvenate myself to get motivated for the season that I'm moving into. This month is fall, so fall is September 22nd, I think is the official fall start date, and so October is all about fall. So I redecorated my home. I added a lot of just decor that I think can stay the long stay, but I also added a lot of fall colors. I am a person that gets overstimulated by a lot of patterns and colors going on, so you'll see that my decorations are very muted and stay within the tones that match my house as far as the fall colors. So that was a lot of fun decorating my house. I'm also doing some things to get ready for the holiday season, some planning and some preparing. I will link below a free PDF I have called Holiday Get Ready With Me. It's a whole guide to help you get ready for this last quarter as far as the holidays go. So you want to make sure that you're planning ahead for things, traditions you want to get done, like your family picture or, you know, Christmas cards, those kinds of memory things. Me and my family, we also do a book each year. So anything that you need to plan, or if you're hosting any dinners, it's a way to help you get ready for the holiday season in a way that isn't overwhelming. So download the guide if that's something you're interested in. It's completely free. So doing a lot of those things to reset. Now let's jump into more of the 12-week year reset as far as planning goes. So I use the 12-week year strategies from the book, The 12-Week Year, to plan out my quarters. I also use a lot of evidence-based psychology since I am a neuropsychologist, and I have over the years developed a way to kind of categorize each of the 12-week years within the year. So if you think about it, there's Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. So I want to kind of review with you to kind of help you move into planning your own Q4 with the right mindset. So if we review how I like to think about the whole 12-week year, all these 12-week years should be working together to help you flourish and help you move closer to those larger than life goals that you have for yourself, your yearly goals, your 5-year goals, and then those big moon goals, like where do you want to be in 10 years. So all our 12-week years are working towards that. And when it comes to those yearly moon goals that we have, each quarter, if you plan at the beginning of the year, works differently to help you get there. So I have the little picture that I'm going to put up on the screen for you guys here. The first one is deciding on the seed. That's Q1. You're deciding on what you want to plant this year, what you want to do, the goals that you want to have. Q2 is planting the seed. That's when you're actually, you know, you've tried it on a little bit on Q1 and you're really deciding what is it really that you're going to plant and do this year. So Q1, you're deciding on those goals. You're kind of trying them on, seeing what works for the current season of life that you're in, all those things. Q2, you know what you want and you're planting those seeds. So you're getting really started on those goals now that you've clarified them a little bit. Q3 is all about rooting down. So you've had Q1 and Q2 to work on those goals. You are kind of figuring out what works, what doesn't work, and you're really rooting down on what does work and doing the work as you move closer towards the end of the year. That 12-week year is all about rooting down and really doubling down if you think about it. And then Q4 is about flourishing. So all of this is helping us move towards those larger than life goals. And Q4 is the last 12-week year that we have in 2024 if you're using the calendar year to plan. And it's really about flourishing within those goals. So you've had those goals usually, if you have done it since the beginning of the year, since 3 quarters already. So as I'm moving into Q4 with my goals, I want to step into them and work at them in a way that allows me to flourish, that allows me to be my best self in my goals. I know what works. I've clarified what it really is that I want from these goals. And so Q4 is just about racing to that finish line and really using the last 12 weeks to get closer to what you want, but to also enjoy the year, right? We're flourishing also because it's the holiday season in Q4, and that's all about enjoying life and being really intentional about creating those memories. So that's where we're at. We're at the flourishing part where you are clear, you're streamlined, you know what works for you, you know how to double down on those things, and you're just flourishing in your goals. So keep that in mind when you're planning this quarter. Okay, so let's move into our planner. Let's take a look at first with how I did with my last quarter goals. I keep all my quarterly planning at the beginning here in this quarter section, the green part of my Mod Ambition Planner. So you'll see there's Q1, Q2, there's Q3, and then there's Q4. So that's where we're at now. I'm going to take a look back at Q3's goals and first let you know how I did with those goals. I also have this in my Notion, but it's good to write it down. So by Q4, I will have launched my new product according to the plan that I set out for myself. That was a yes. Yay! Confetti. So I launched my second brain template. I've been getting a lot of good feedback of how it's helping people get organized in their life. That is so happy for me. Like, that's such a good moment because when I create anything, it is with the goal of being a blessing to someone. So hopefully other people that get it feel the same way that I haven't heard from. So I did launch my new product according to plan. For family, I had a lot of goals about a vacation. So we had a family vacation, which we did. Our couple's vacation ended up turning into a solo trip because my mom got sick. She wasn't able to come babysit for us. So we turned our couple's vacation. We split up the days. Actually, I took the second part. My husband took the first part, and our kids went to daycare during those days. So it was actually still nice to get like just some time away and to sleep in. Oh my God, it was amazing. Teaching the kids to swim, that's been going great. They actually just went yesterday, so they're still going strong on that. We have an indoor pool near it. And then organizing the kids' toys, which I did. I think I've showed you guys clips of that before. For my wellness goals, I had consistent 8 hours of sleep each night, no dairy, and then Pilates 2 times a week. My word of the year is wellness. It's very intentionally my word of the year because that's what I have the hardest time with, is just taking care of myself. I can be very ambitious and go with all my like career goals and for my family and, you know, all the other things, but I really wanted to slow down and create systems and habits of taking care of myself this year, and I need to do better. The consistent 8 hours of sleep has not been going well. I had a death in my family, so at the beginning of the quarter I was, and then I started experiencing some grief and I wasn't sleeping, and then the Pilates 2 times a week. I've been traveling for the funerals and visiting and all those sorts of things, but that was just more recently. Before that, I was going to Pilates twice a week. I just kind of fell off irregardless of the grief, like outside of that. So that's something I really want to be getting better at this quarter, is the wellness things that I've set out for myself. For my job as a neuropsychologist, consistent 5 to 6 reports per month, which I've been doing, that's a check. And then expanding my business, I have all my content goals. That actually went really well. I was able to stay consistent. Actually went live each week in August. Was that August? Yes. And that was really well. I was going to continue going live because I've had this idea for a long time now of going live each week as a goal, and then it went to bi-weekly to have our accountability group on Fridays. What has happened with that is it's just so hard to do that every single week and commit to that. And I had to kind of check myself and was like, be for real, Tiffany. Like, you're a neuropsychologist, you have 2 kids, you're also running a business on the side. Like, it's just not realistic for me to go live every week just because it takes about 3, even though I'm on there about 30-40 minutes, it takes about 3 hours total with prep, doing my makeup, doing the thumbnail, the description, sending out the email, all the things. It takes a lot of time each Friday, and Fridays are the only day that I don't work at my neuropsychology job, so Fridays are really valuable for me. And so I decided, even though it's something that I want to do, because I feel like on live you can really connect with people more, I can get to know people more here on YouTube better than I can in just my videos, but it's also not realistic that I'm going to be able to show up each and every week. And if you know about SMART goals, one of the tenets is to be realistic. So I have rejudged the idea of, what do I really want from these lives? I really want to connect with people. I really want to be a blessing in a more like natural and authentic way to ambitious women. And I really want to show people how to plan in a way that takes off that overwhelm. So I decided, how can I still give that connection each week, show up each week outside of my weekly YouTube video? And I think I'm going to do that in my newsletter, because in my newsletter, I can do that sitting in bed, looking a mess, still get out that very helpful, practical information. So my plan is, to the time that I was going to go live, instead put that information in a weekly newsletter. Like this week, this Friday, I plan on talking about how to clear up the notes, the chaos of your notes app, which if you're like anything like me, my notes app was pretty chaotic and it just hinders you from being productive because you're constantly looking in different places. So I'll put that tip in my newsletter and the whole tutorial in my newsletter. So if you want to sign up for my newsletter, you can sign up below. If you get that holiday guide, you'll be on my newsletter. So I'm going to be doing that, but I do want to still go live once a quarter. I thought it was really fun in August what we did, going live every Friday. I had a workshop, I had an agenda, I knew what I wanted to teach. I felt like it was much more effective than just coming on here planning my week each week. I'm going to do that once a quarter, 1 month out of the quarter. I'm going to go live every week. This quarter I decided to do it in November, but you'll see as I'm planning my 12-week year, I'm really being realistic, but I'm also trying to stay in my genius zone, which is writing, hence the newsletter, and making my videos each week for YouTube. I don't feel like I'm out of space yet to expand. Number one, my time is limited, and number two is I'm still trying to master this whole YouTube thing. I'm still growing here, so I want to put as much time as I can in my actual videos to make those really good and really valuable. So that's my whole thing with my lives. That was one of my goals on here, to be consistent with that. So I just wanted to talk about that in case you were wondering, why doesn't she go live on Fridays anymore? That is why. So those are my quarterly goals of how I did last quarter. Take a look for yourself. How did you do with your last year 12-week year goals? If you have them in Notion, it might be a little bit more qualitative or quantitative to look at them that way. I looked at mine as well, and you can do both. I do a lot of my brainstorming in paper, and then the more like finite detail stuff I have in my Notion. Okay, let's move on to this quarter. So each quarter, when I'm planning my 12-week year, before I jump in, I like to look at my yearly goals, those moon goals. And so if you think about the analogy of the quote Les Brown says, reach for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. So your moon goals are those big goals that you have for the year, and then your star goals are like your 12-week year goals. That's how I like to think about them. So I like to look at what moon I'm shooting for, what are my yearly goals, and kind of rate my progress. This is what I'm going to be using. So my goal of total wellness, I have myself, that's the lowest one of about 50%. So I'm going to be really honing in on that a lot. Q4, nurturing my family. I have exactly where I should be. Very intentional about that this year, and being present with my family and hitting those goals for I have as a wife and a mom and a daughter and a sister, all those things. So I feel good with that. Expanding my business is actually better than where I expected it to be at this point of the year, meaning I had a number goal of what I wanted to do to expand my business, and I have already met that. A big part of that has been people learning more about me through my YouTube videos and actually knowing what I have to offer to help them. Just very grateful for anyone that has watched my videos lately. If you have subscribed to my channel, it's such a blessing, even just watching and subscribing. If you see me on your feed, please click the video. That helps me a lot. I attribute a lot of my ability to get my word out about what I have to offer to YouTube. I did better in YouTube this past quarter than I ever have on YouTube, which I'm still a small channel, but that still means a lot to me because I put a lot of work and effort into my videos. You guys know I'm a nerd. I'm a neuropsychologist, so I try to make them entertaining and fun as well, but I try to pack them with value. So it's nice to hear and to see people actually getting that value and actually seeing the videos. So that's where I am with my yearly goals. Before you jump into your 12-week year, take a look at not only what are your yearly goals for 2024, but how close are you to those goals. Kind of give yourself a rating. Then what I like to do before I move into Notion to do my quarterly planning and set up all the metrics and stuff, I like to brainstorm in the quarterly planning pages in my Mod Ambition Planner. This is going to get you going brainstorm wise to really align with the best things for you and to use goal setting techniques that are going to set you up for success. So let's jump into some of the brainstorm pieces before you actually set those 12-week year goals. You'll find if you use the prompts in the Mod Ambition Planner before you set your 12-week year goals, when it's time to actually write them down, they'll just flow out of you because you've already did like the conscious work beforehand. So let's talk about our intention for this quarter. I have my intention for this quarter is to truly end the year focused on my word of the year, which is wellness, and the themes for this quarter I have as ease and energy, as well as focus and follow through. So truly it's focusing on wellness. Like I mentioned, that's the one that I need the most help with this Q4. And I also have kind of like, I've had a shift in mindset of like, I really want to come from a place of ease and energy, focus and follow through. The ease and energy is because my mission in life, so I have two right now currently, which is a little bit different than your purpose. For time's sake, I won't go into that. My mission for my family and personal life is to come from a place of ease and energy so I can be a blessing to my loved ones. My mission right now in my business life, all those community content life, is to come from a place of ease and energy so I can be a blessing for ambitious women and by proxy, also ambitious men. But that is my mission. Coming from a place of ease and energy, essentially so I can be a blessing. So that means not working every night. That means not working all weekend. That means allowing myself to rest and like do my nails, which is what I did this weekend. And when the babysitter comes, sometime we have a babysitter comes like 3 hours once a month on the weekends, instead of working during that time, like doing something to rejuvenate or going for a bike ride, something like that. Doing all those things that I usually prioritize, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, work over if either writing a report for my neuropsychology position or creating content. And even though I wasn't really feeling burnt out lately, it doesn't really position me to be in a place of ease. One of the things I felt like my lives were so valuable in August because I really wasn't stressed out. I was coming from a place of ease. Even though I was launching a new product, I didn't really put that pressure on myself to try to launch in this big way as great creators do. Like, it's, for me, at my size right now, it's not that serious. So I really came from ease, and I felt like people got more value out of those lives. So that is my intention this quarter: ease and energy, focus and follow through. So focusing, I'm not going to be posting on Instagram all the time like I was in Q2 and Q3. That is like, whew, my life doesn't align with that right now. Like I said, 2 toddlers, husband, happy marriage, job as a neuropsychologist, running my business on the side. I don't have time to be on Instagram posting every day, responding to comments all the time, posting everything I'm doing to my stories. Like, that's just like not my vibe of feeling at ease. When I feel that pressure to like, oh, I gotta be commenting, or I gotta comment in the first hour, it's like, I'm too old. Really, honestly, I'm too old for that. Like, I feel like younger people can do Instagram and TikTok and be successful, but me, it's like, I'm like usually with clients during the day. I don't have time to engage. Like, that's why I like YouTube, because I can put this here and then I can come back when I have time to follow up with comments, see if anybody has questions, those kinds of things. And it's not like this, and it's once a week. Whereas Instagram and TikTok, they want you to post like multiple times a day, which I just don't have that. So focus and follow through. Okay, what's your intention this quarter? All right, let's move on to the second piece of brainstorming prompt, which is this quarter I'm excited for. So this quarter I'm excited for the holidays. I'm also excited for birthdays. It's my daughter's birthday, my dad's birthday, my mom's birthday, my birthday, all this quarter. And then fall. Fall is my favorite season, so I'm excited for that. I feel like it's not too hot like the summer, but it's still not cold like the winter, so you can be outside and you don't have all the bugs of summer, which probably is my favorite thing. And then also excited for our vacation. We are going to Mexico this quarter for a family vacation. So excited for that. Okay, what are you excited for this quarter? Next up is wins from last quarter. So I had quite a few wins from last quarter. I launched my new Notion product. So I launched my second brain template, my 12-week year template, my habits and routines template for Notion. These are essentially all things that were helping me in my personal life that I made available and made more pretty for you guys. My YouTube channel growth, I had a lot of growth in subscribers and views in this past quarter. My kids learning more to swim, going underwater, all those things. And my mom, even though there was some devastating news with her health, there was also a lot of silver lining in the fact of her prognosis and hope. So that's definitely a win. I'm so grateful to God for that. What were your wins last quarter? Now, lessons from last quarter. These are things that, so the wins, you want to double down on what's working for you. The lessons are kind of things like, okay, what were challenges and what are those lessons you're going to take with you to make life better from those lessons, but also make your next quarter better? For me, it's discernment. I consume a lot of education. I read a lot. I also consume a lot for my job as a neuropsychologist just because I have to. I also, when I'm cleaning or on the treadmill or driving to work, I'm listening to some sort of podcast or a YouTube video. And that's, I realize in this age of lots of information and constant stimulation, we have to really hone in on discernment. I'll speak for myself. I really have to hone in on discernment and really saying, what can I take from this and what actually is more important? What can I leave? Because everything doesn't apply to me. And a lot of times, let's be honest, people on these podcasts or on even in videos, they're trying to sell you something. So their approach is basically what has worked for them that they're trying to now get you to buy into, which is great if it works for you. But you have to take that pause and say, wait, this worked for them, but is it going to work for me? Is it going to work for me as a person? Is it going to work for my gender? Is it going to work for my lifestyle as a mom or the season of life that I'm in? And I just want to be more discerning, because that when I'm not, then I get pulled in all these different directions. Then I'm like posting on Instagram. Then I am doing, affiliate stuff just to try to get the business off the ground. Like it's good to learn. I'm addicted to learning. I love learning, but I can't take in everything and I can't apply everything. I have to kind of just chill, focus on what I want to do, which is one really good YouTube video a week and my newsletter, and follow through with that. So discernment. I had a lot of other lessons that I wrote down. Content lesson, productivity reporting with my job. We've been doing some time tracking. There's been some lessons in that. Focusing better and sticking to the plan. Sticking to the plan, which goes with that discernment. Just, as entrepreneurs, we can get shiny object syndrome just saying, hey, this is what I decided for Q4. Let's stick to this. We can add it to that someday maybe projects in your Notion, in your second brain. But for now, let's stick to what we planned. What were your lessons for this quarter? Okay, turning the page. Let's talk about my mantras for this quarter. I have 3. Make it simple. You guys are getting the theme here. I am toning things down. Ease and energy is my second mantra that I will be referring to, in discernment. If you have the Notion second brain system in your Notion, I like to put my mantras in a resource as a page in the resource section. Things that you're downloading as like quotes and tools that really help you in certain periods of your life. You can save them and refer back to them. So make it simple, ease and energy, and discernment are my mantras for this quarter. What are your mantras? Okay, let's talk about my priority this quarter. My personal priority is wellness and ease. My family priority for this quarter is creating special memories. And my business priority for this quarter is one good video per week. This might be the most important thing to do before deciding on your 12-week year. Prioritize according to your larger vision. So if you know the book, The 12-Week Year, they talk a lot about the vision in the beginning book. It's two authors, by the way. A lot of people talk about he, but it's two authors. They talk a lot about vision in the beginning. So when you're thinking about your priorities for this quarter, what are your priorities that are going to move you closer to that vision? If you want a cheat sheet of the 12-week year, I do have in my Notion 12-week year template. At the very beginning is a summary of the book. It's just under a little drop-down tab, and it gives you a whole cheat sheet of all the tenets in the book, The 12-Week Year, if you want a little refresh. What are your priorities this quarter? Then moving on, what am I saying yes to this quarter? What am I saying no to? I'm saying yes to making my own rules. So like I said, consuming a lot of education and all those things are great, but I also have to decide what's best for me. Realistic planning that honors the season that I'm in. Again, you guys are probably noticing a theme. I am streamlining for sure. Realistically, peace, authenticity, and fun. I'm saying yes to all those things. What I'm saying no to, doing too much. Okay, just doing way too much. Late nights, which could fall under the category of doing way too much, and evening scrolling, which is probably also doing way too much. So I'm saying no to all those things. I just got to settle down. I got to calm my nervous system, hone in on what's most important for me when it comes to all the domains in my life, personal, career as a psychologist, and my business. Just really streamlining. What are you saying yes to, and what are you saying no to? Now that we have brainstormed, let me go into my actual quarterly goals, which are very simple, as you have probably noticed they would be. For my yearly goal of total wellness, my current 12-week year goal to move me closer to that is by 2025, I will lose 10 pounds. Simple, gives me a number to reach for. Sorry if that triggered anyone. I should have said triggered warning before I mentioned weight. But for me, I know the reasons behind why I want to lose weight are not vanity. It's not all about how I look. I really want to do it so I can keep up with my kids and live a life that is more in line with how I vision myself to be, which is like healthy, in shape, you know, biking with my kids, all those kind of things. It doesn't really involve like what do they call it, a fupa? So losing 10 pounds kind of just encapsulates that really easily by 2025. So for nurturing my family, my 12-week year goal is by 2025, I will teach my kids grace. So they know a grace or a poem, they call it from school. I want to teach them like the God is good, or God is great, God is good grace. My second family goal for by 2025 is to celebrate the holidays and traditions. And thirdly is to take our trip to Mexico. Then for the last one of expanding my business, my 12-week year goal is by 2025, I will double my monthly revenue. So very streamlined, very focused. Those are all my quarterly goals. I'm keeping it very simple intentionally. What are your 12-week year goals? And then the last piece of the puzzle is controlling the process when it comes to 12-week year. So 12-week year, there's a couple different pieces to control the process. One is going to be your 12-week year scorecard, which you can get in my Notion template on my 12-week year. And then you're also going to be doing your weekly planning. I do mine on Fridays, and your daily time blocking. You want to be sure you're getting 3 hours a week of deep work at least. And then you also want to be making sure you're adding buffers to your schedule and you're doing that time blocking. And then you have all the other tenets again in that cheat sheet in the 12-week year template. I do my monthly planning, so you'll see September here. I'm about to do October now that I plan the quarter. And then in the Mod Ambition Planner, you also have your weekly planning that you'll do, and your daily time blocking is all in here for you as well. But in order to know what to do for those more strategic weekly plannings and daily time blocking, it's good to come up with your 12-week year lead goals that are moving you closer to your quarterly goals first. And that's what that Notion template is going to help you break down and do. So let's take a look at that. I'm going to pull it up on my phone, and I'm going to put screenshots of my computer up while I'm talking. You guys can see it. And you'll see the way that I do it in my 12-week year template in Notion. It makes everything, again, effortlessly streamlined so you don't get overwhelmed. My whole goal is to help you not feel overwhelmed. So this template is really guided to help you apply these strategies in an easy way. So you can probably see here, I have at the top 12-week year. And then as I scroll up, those are my first 3 goals for the quarter. By 2025, I'll lose the 10 pounds, my kids' grace, holiday memories, and then doubling my business revenue. I just have pictures to progress for your 12-week year here with the little graph that's automated for you. You have a place to insert your yearly vision board so that can stay top of mind. And then you'll have 2 buttons here. The first one is your quarterly goal strategy. You want to do this one first, and I'll go over one of mine so you guys can get the idea. So let's say my goal of creating happy family memories, quarterly goal by 2025, we'll celebrate the holiday traditions, that kind of thing. My related yearly goal, you'll write that under it, is to nurture my family. I've said it really vaguely here online, but yours will probably be more, and mine too, more particular, more specific. Then under it, you have the opportunity to break it down into different months. So that way you can see how you're going to break it down throughout the quarter. So for October, I have the goal to do our family photo shoot. November, I have the goal of to mail the cards and to order our yearly photo book. And then December, Elf on the Shelf. That's how I've broken it down. Let me give you another example. So for business, let me give you my launch. So this is related to the quarterly goal of doubling my monthly revenue. So October, I'm going to brainstorm my launch and outline the tasks that I need to do. That's my goal. November, I'm going to do pre-write my launch emails and develop my offer. December is when I'll actually do the launch. So you can see how you can break it down to each month. That way you'll have a monthly priority for each one of your goals for the quarter that you've decided on before. That way during the quarter you can just implement. And then after you've done your quarterly goal strategy for all your goals, then you can fill out your weekly scorecard, and then you'll just take October, because your weekly scorecard is monthly. You'll take all those little goals that you have for October in that line item, and you'll place, again, I'll have screenshots here, and you'll place them as 12-week year lead goals. So those are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. I'm just going to read off you guys the ones that I have. So now I'm in that second button in my template. These are all body wellness, so they'll be arranged according to your goals too, which is nice. Cardio 3 times a week, weekly snack planning, eliminating evening snacks, and sleep by 10 p.m. daily. So those are all my body wellness lead goals for October. And then for my business growth, post 1 good YouTube video per week, launch project work, so that's that brainstorming my launch that I just talked to you guys about, my weekly newsletter, and then short forms are icing on the cake. So I do have ideas of continuing to post just a little bit on Instagram just to keep the account alive. But again, those are icing on the cake, meaning if I don't get to it, I don't get to it. And then my goals for nurturing my family, I have practice grace daily, and for October, our family photo shoot project. So I want to be working on that each week. So that involves finding the photographer, finding the location. I already have our outfits, so that's exciting. But yeah, that's my 12-week year scorecard. Super simple. That's how I'm going to control the process. Make sure you are coming up with a strategy of how you're going to hit these quarterly goals. What are you going to do each month? Those are called those monthly priorities. And then also, what are your lead goals for this first month of October? What are those really specific things you're going to be doing each week that you can track? You want to be hitting 85% on your lead goals each week in order to know that you're going to hit your goal. So decide on both of those. Again, if you want a streamlined way to do it, approach to kind of guide you through it completely, be sure to check out my 12-week year Notion template. I think that's going to help you out a lot, and as well as the cheat sheet in there as well to kind of refresh you of all those really helpful tenets from the book, The 12-Week Year. So that is my quarterly plan with me. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Cheers to planning, manifesting, and enjoying your dream life. And until next time, namaste.
I once believed that you